I will say the world map is definitely a bit more efficient. It works like, and every gaming reviewer say it with me, the world map from Super Mario Bros. 3.
There it is!
10 out of 10.
There it is again!
Hey, that Mike guy wasn't too bad. The only issue I have with him is that he's a little too unique, seeing as he hasn't talked about golf yet. But once he has, my company will be safe.
Next up is golf. You actually thought I was gonna talk about golf? Do I look like a maniac? I'm never talking about golf. And the next one up is golf. And that says a lot, because it's f***ing golf. Let's start with Mario Golf Advance Tour. That's a good try. I'm still not talking about golf. And then I'm not talking about golf, but I'm sure they fucked it up there too.
No! But if he won't do it himself, then I guess I'll have to make him.
Since the dawn of time, man has been starved for entertainment. And the specific source of entertainment that man craved involved a boy with glasses talking about video games. Now this definitely happened before 2016, but it wasn't until then that a wee lad of the name MikeSpike started to take a crack at it. It has been 6 years since then, and he has entertained people neighborhood-wide with his singular hobby of talking about Nintendo games, his flagrant lack of respect for Namco Museum on Game Boy Advance, his ability to insert WarioWare ink into any conversation, his possession of 5 copies of Jonas on the DS, and his refusal to indulge in any sort of golf game or golfing-related activity. But soon, Mike might need to face his biggest...
Finally, someone else said something about Namco Museum on GBA. What's up? It's Mike, and I've talked about stupid shit 24 times. I have a vendetta against even numbers, though, so let's figure out something else to talk about. I got nothing. Maybe it's time I should pick up a new hobby. So let's try cooking. Let's try and make some eggs off this recipe. Shouldn't have any issues. But before we do that, let's talk about the presentation of this recipe. The fonts are solid, all readable and in the English language, which is good considering I'm only fluent in 2 languages. The other one's Mario. Now let's see how effective the recipe is. I throw some eggs in the pan and... I can't do this, there isn't enough Pichu. To get our Pichu fix, we should go back to the first game I ever talked about, Super Smash Bros. Melee. That's true, I didn't exist before 2016. The government is lying to you. Melee is a sequel to the N64 release just called Super Smash Bros. And I gotta be honest, I like the guy screaming the name in the first game more. It's totally a personal preference thing. But if you disagree with me, I will find you. The first game in the series had a lot of smashing, and people loved it. So for the second game in the series, they decided to add even more smashing. Quite honestly, every game could use a bit more of that. Just look at this character roster. I both think it's a massive improvement over the prior entry, and also quite the disappointment. My parents probably agree with the latter. Ganondorf is a sick addition, but is weirdly just a clone of Captain Falcon. Oh, trust me, this would be way easier to figure out. Then you have a character like Zelda and Sheik, who can change between each other at will and have extremely different movesets. And there's also Mr. Game & Watch. That's Sir Mr. Game & Watch to you. Mario, not to get outdone, managed to get his whole doctorate in only 34 months. And then there's a character whose main mechanic is that they hurt themselves in Fox. I should have known this was gonna happen. This game feels really tight and smooth to control, with all of the characters perfectly responding to inputs and... Wait a second. That's funny. I don't remember Smash Bros. Melee having this much golf. So we might have a tiny problem, but hey, maybe the games I have digitally on my Switch are safe. Okay, you know, that's not a big deal, but maybe the games on N64 Online are okay. Okay, we have slightly more than a tiny problem here, but just what the hell happened? I should check the news. That usually takes the pressure off.
back to NNN, and no, it's not what it sounds like. In a shocking move made by the President of the United States just a few hours ago, he has stepped aside and let the CEO of IGN completely take over the country. And within just 2 seconds of being in power, he has completely changed every game that's ever existed into golf. We don't know what he wants, and frankly, I don't care, because I can go on playing Tiger Woods PGA Tour 08 till the day I die.
Okay, this is slightly larger than a tiny problem. Guess I finally have to do it. I guess I finally have to talk about it. So let's just get it out of the way, and let's talk about the cover art to Mario Golf. What the hell is Donkey Kong looking at? Actually, on second thought, I don't really care. Wario and Yoshi both look like they've seen some shit. Bowser looks really depressed, and both Peach and Luigi are the only ones who look happy to be there. I mean, who wouldn't with that N64 logo plastered caddy bag? Then there's Mario with his golf club. At least they weren't lying. You could play this game with 1 to 4 players. Now, I can't test if they're lying because I'm not a terrible friend. I'm a horrible one. There's a difference. This was also an N64 exclusive. Except even though it is, it also isn't. See, this was the only Mario Golf game like it on the N64, but there was also a game called Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color, touting the same exact logo and the same Mario model on the cover art. But they're also not even close to the same game. So was Nintendo lying? The game has N64 Rumble Pack support. Thank God, I was about to not use it at all anyways. I'm running out of things to say. The sky looks nice. Can't believe I'm gonna do this, but it's either this or just not talking about stupid video games. When most people think about golfing related video games, the second thing that pops into their head is the Mario Golf series. That first thought hopefully being that I need to see a doctor. Spanning almost every Nintendo system except for the one that makes the most sense to play golf on, Mario Golf is known the world over for being one of the only tolerable ways to actually enjoy golf. Now if I had to guess, I don't think they were including this one. Mario Golf opens with a cute little cutscene where we get to see my second favorite Mario character, Mario. You can't beat Blarg. Then we see Luigi, and unfortunately I hear him too.
That's so wonderful.
I don't know what his voice sounds like, but I'm worried. Peach is up next, followed by Plum? Gotta mark Mario down to 3rd. After a short shot of Baby Mario and Yoshi, we get slapped with the title screen. And now I'm just confused why they chose to highlight Baby Mario over Bowser. Nothing screams play my game like a little f***ing baby. You know what I love about playing Mario games? Playing as Mario. The one time in my life that I'll ever say thank God for Baby Mario. This is all you get when you start the game. The worst version of Mario, 2 characters named after fruits, and Charlie. And now he's down to 4th. I'm sorry, but you can't name a game Mario Golf and then give me Charlie from the beginning and expect me to be okay. When it comes to the actual gameplay of Mario Golf, it's pretty simple. Go for the end zone. I can commend it for being fairly easy to pick up, and the act of timing your button presses to perform a swing can be pretty satisfying. But unfortunately, that doesn't really matter. See, every time you perform a shot, there's a grid that, from my perspective, should show the area that the ball is going to land. Except sometimes the ball will just go completely outside the grid, so while it's not completely pointless, it's around 60% pointless. The camera controls could also be way better, with it always managing to be slightly off from what I actually wanted to show me and overall just being stiff and unresponsive. Putting is also not amazing here, with you essentially having to eyeball the elevation with N64 graphics because the grid tells you jack shit. Speaking of those N64 graphics, they look okay for the most part. I've never been the biggest fan of Nintendo 64 games in general. I just think they don't age well in almost any way. Minus Hey You Pikachu, obviously. It'll outlive us all. Some games I've played get it much worse than others, but in terms of Mario Golf's longevity, it wasn't as bad as I expected. The text is sufficiently Mario-y, and the colors are bright and fairly clean. The character animations are pretty good, and although they will certainly get blown out of the water in about 26 sentences, it's definitely a welcome addition that adds some nice personality to the game as a whole. I also like Boo as the little wind indicator. It reminds me I'm playing a Mario game every time I look at Charlie. It's easy to forget. In terms of the content on offer, there's a whole lot of golf and some side modes that are slight variations on golf, like Ring Golf. And just like the other N64 game famous for its rings, it's kinda bad. This is again due to the wonky grid and makes the entire Ring Golf mode way more of a hassle than it should be. Mario Golf is obviously a first game in a series, and while that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad game, it means it's a terrible game compared to its sequel. I don't think the second coming of Christ will be a better sequel than this. Mario Golf Toadstool Tour is a second entry so good that in my eyes, it makes the first game completely obsolete. You know it's perfect when they got rid of Charlie. Every single problem I had with the first game has either been removed or refined dramatically. It's honestly the perfect example of what a sequel should be. Life 2 really needs to come out already. It starts immediately with the opening cutscene, and the amount of character, personality, and charm that's oozing out of it is frankly ridiculous. It's not even comparable to the prior game. It's truly a generational leap, only possible thanks to this funky looking lunchbox. The cutscene gives you a taste for how the rest of the game looks, which is, to put it lightly, absolutely stellar. And a complete opposite example from most Nintendo 64 games, not only has this game's presentation not aged today, but it also looks better than some modern titles. The art style mixing the realistic courses with the cartoony characters hits that perfect sweet spot. And what ties it all together is the silky smooth 60 FPS frame rate. If my funeral isn't at 60 FPS, I'm gonna be pissed. That smooth frame rate not only looks fantastic, but makes the general gameplay feel fantastic as well. Everything is super responsive, and on top of that, Toadstool Tour gives you way more options to fine-tune how you get a double bogey. While I never had too much of an issue with the first game's simplistic swinging, the amount of depth they managed to add here without overwhelming the player makes for a great evolution of the gameplay. This gameplay is helped by the controls, which feel just as smooth to use as the game itself. The GameCube controller just feels perfect for Toadstool Tour, using the C-stick to easily maneuver the much better camera system, using the shoulder buttons to adjust the length of the shot you go for with a much better grid that actually shows the elevation of the green, the giant A button for performing swings. It just fits together beautifully. So far, my only real complaint is I can't play as Koopa Troopa.
Nice shot.
Guess what the starting character roster this time around is? Much better or worse? It's so much better this time, with Mario actually being available from the start along with a ton of other recognizable characters. And that's not to say there's zero unlockable characters, but I'm more than satisfied with the roster you get at the start. This roster is further helped by their amazing animations after every hole depending on the result. The animations for getting something like par are pretty tame, but when it gets to stuff like double and triple bogeys, they're just beautiful. They were so ruthless at improving this game compared to the original that they even made ring golf a better game mode. With the addition of the much better grid, and even with better ring placement, I actually played more than a couple holes without saying, circles are my least favorite shape anyways. Mario Golf Toadstool Tour is the best golf game that I've ever played. It's easily in the top 50%. The developers did everything they could to make this the definitive Mario Golf game. And by every single measure I can think of, they completely succeeded. Alright, 2 golf games down, and all of my games are still golf, so let's try out a couple more of them. Maybe they'll be as good as Toadstool Tour. Mario Golf Advanced Tour has role-playing golf proudly displayed on its case. Wow, the 2 slowest game genres combined? Sounds great. Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort Golfing is pretty tame, but where it gets really wild is Wii Sports Club Golf. This is some Star Fox Zero type shit. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 08 by EA Sports is overall pretty good. Everybody's golf? Then where's Waldo? What the golf? Mario Golf Super Rush is one of the most boring and generic golf games I've ever played. I mean, just look at the menus. It instantly puts you to sleep if you aren't careful. If you're not convinced, here's the award ceremony from Super Rush and the one from Toadstool Tour. It almost looks cheap by comparison. This game just reeks of no one giving a shit. The coolest thing this game does is give every character a golfing outfit. Yeah, that's about it. The roster is easily the best part of the game, with the inclusion of King Bob-omb and dear god anything that isn't Blarg. But other than that, everything in all other aspects just feels as dumbed down and generic as possible. Putting feels way easier than ever for no reason, even with the game giving you the option to not even try. While putting in the prior games could be a little frustrating at times, at least it kept me somewhat engaged. Now the whole feels like it has its own gravitational pull. The character animations across the board, while there, are nowhere near as fun and memorable as the ones present in Toadstool Tour. A lot of the side modes are also just missing and replaced with a new version of Speed Golf, which centers around the most fun part of golf, running towards the ball after you hit it. It's not like every game in the series skipped that before for a reason. They try to use things like dashes, special shots, managing a stamina meter to hide what you're really doing, but after the charm wears off, it just gets boring really fast. Something that gets boring even faster is the sorry excuse for an adventure mode, which is essentially a really long drawn out tutorial. And unless you really like hearing random Mario enemy voice clips every 2 seconds,
Hey, hey! Yo, oh! Yeah, yeah! Hey, hey!
just don't even bother. It has as much adventure as me going to the bathroom. Yeah, that was a 7 out of 10. But what if you want to play this fantastically middling golf game online? Out of all the types of games to have a laggy online service, golf is probably the best one for that. For the most part, that mentality does hold up, but there's one other tiny issue with Super Rush's online. No one's playing it. I mean, who wouldn't spend their free time playing Mario Golf Super Rush online? Your results may vary, but every time I queued, even in the lobby where I got a person in, that was it. There was literally only one other person. And then this one other person will slow the game to a glacial pace because they just won't shoot for a bit. This is a sports game where no matter what you do, there is no winning. This is just a completely nothing game. Even with the DLC courses, the selection of maps to play on isn't anything crazy. Mario Golf Super Rush doesn't do anything that the other games in the series don't do better, and it truthfully doesn't need to exist. I can't do it. I just can't do it anymore, man. If I talk about one more golf game, I'm gonna implode. It's more polite than exploding. I just don't know what to do.
Hey all, Scott here. I'm the founder of the Anti-Golf Club, an organization founded under the belief that golf needs to just die already. I got the idea after my 5-year prison sentence, where I was arrested for assault and battery, and before you ask, yes, they were on a golf course and in my line of sight. They had it coming. I formed a world-class team to help me with my goal of getting rid of that sport you watch when nothing else is going on.
Hi, my name is Jim, and I find golf to be an extremely minor inconvenience.
Hi, my name is Anthony, and golf took my family away from me. Ignore the drinks, ignore the drinks.
We're looking for new members, so call today at 1-800-HATE-GOLF. That's 1-800-HATEGOL. And our monthly activity for August is taking down golf.
Who's your favorite golfer?
John Madden.
Great. We'll be right over.
Thanks for coming on such short notice.
It's alright. We were running from the police anyway.
Oh, what did you do?
Oh, nothing. We just tried to break into the White House.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Well, there's also the assault charges.
Hey, it ran into my fists. Don't blame me.
What were they doing?
Existing 50 miles within a golf course.
And it's not like we broke all their bones or anything.
Yeah, it felt nice, so I let them keep their kneecaps.
Oh, that's great. How far did you get into the White House?
We made it as far as the front of the Oval Office, but there were a few too many kneecaps, and we didn't exactly have the manpower to borrow all of them forcefully.
So what if I joined the team?
Oh, then we probably wouldn't make it as far.
Come on, I have to join. If I talk about another golf game, I'm gonna go insane.
Well, I guess we don't really want you going out sane, so I guess you can come.
So how'd you guys get past the guards the first time?
Oh, we totally lied to you back there.
What?
Yeah, turns out people value their bones or something.
That's okay, because I got a plan. You guys are gonna distract every guard as I get into the Oval Office.
So, how do you propose we do that?
Hey man, what's your favorite constitutional amendment?
Mine's the 16th. They talk about collecting income tax, but I still pay taxes of it.
Hey, they usually don't pay taxes. Get up! That was way easier than I thought. Mr. President, I'm gonna need you to return my copy of Donkey Kong Country Returns back to normal, or I'm gonna vote for Pac-Man again.
But Mr. Mike, you know I can't do that.
That's Dr. Mike to you.
I thought you would have gotten it by now, Mike.
Gotten what, a disease?
No. What you should have understood by now is that not talking about golf games is the only thing that makes you unique.
What's that even supposed to mean?
I mean, there's really nothing special about you. Your complete refusal to talk about golfing games has been a thorn in my side. You've been the last unique person to stand in my way of complete video game opinion dominance. But now that I have forced you to talk about golfing games, you have nothing. There are others who talk about Nintendo games. There are others who say the same 4 words every time they talk about something new. Even others who have talked about Metroid Zero Mission. Now, you are just like everyone else. Now nobody will care about their opinion on NBA Live 19 more than mine.
Well, this must be my brain, seeing as it's completely empty except for a floating book in the Mario head from Mario Teaches Typing 2.
I'm going to fly for you.
But what if he's right? What if I'm just a rip-off of everyone else? What if my opinion doesn't matter? What if everything I've done up to this point doesn't matter at all? What if it's all been pointless?
Well, we are all going to die someday.
I don't know who said that, but that didn't really help.
It's me, the book.
Oh yay, a floating book is talking to me. Now I can add being insane on my to-do list for today next to getting fucked.
Maybe not fully, but in all honesty that doesn't matter right now. What does matter is that you understand something.
That something better be more helpful than your first comment.
Oh, it is. What you have to understand is, you do have something more unique to bring to the table than just not talking about golf. I mean, sure, you do share a lot of motifs and ideas with other people, but no one can put together meaningless stuff like you can. Who else can manage to find a way to review WarioWare Inc. on 3 separate occasions? Who else would even mention the existence of Mario Pinball Land? Who else would spend their Thanksgiving talking about Donkey Kong, then spending their Christmas ranting about Wario? Who else would actually care about Scooby-Doo First Rides in the Spooky Swamp to spend more than 10 minutes talking about them? Everyone should be allowed and encouraged to share their opinion on dumb Nintendo games. Everyone has a different way of complaining about meaningless stuff. Anyone can talk about Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and none of them can present it in the way that you do.
You know, you'd make for a great therapist.
It's one of my hobbies, next to being an hallucination.
Well, I guess it's time for me to finally go back out there and take down IGN in a way only I can. Thanks, Definitely Real Book.
No problem, and good luck.
You know what, Mr. President?
What?
You managed to turn all my games into golf. Great job, by the way. But I already had a game in my possession with golf in it.
Wait. No!
Did you really not see this coming?
No! All the games are turning back to normal. But I'm not defeated. I'm just getting started.
Well, I think only one can play at this game.
I only thought you had 5 copies. No!
Yo! You actually got him.
Yeah, but blowing up the White House was a bit excessive.
So, what are you gonna do with him now?
I figured we should just do what Mario would do.
And what the f is that?
Take him to a golf course.
I don't even like golf.
What?